Let's talk about playlisting in 2025. I've been working with over than 1,500 musicians and record labels worldwide, and that's my take on playlisting on Spotify. As a music marketing professional that works right now with one of the biggest artists in the world, there is one thing that everybody haven't understood yet in the music industry. There is a right time to use a playlist, and you need to know when is the right time to do that. Most of the musicians and record labels that are working with us are always reaching out on the day of the release and asking when are we going to put them on playlists. And the right answer to this question is I have no clue. We have to look at these stats. The only way to know when is the right time to get yourself into a playlist is by looking at the Spotify algorithmic playlist on your social streams on your Spotify for Artists. Because that Spotify doesn't really allow us to see what's the average listening rate to our song, we have to figure it out on our own. And the only way to get some understanding about it is by looking at the source of streams, specifically on the algorithmic streams on your Spotify for Artists. That's our only way to understand if our music engagement rate is good or bad. I'll show you some examples in a minute, but let's go back to when is the right time to put yourself in a playlist. So at Shuffle, we have two main rules in here. If your algorithmic streams are stable and over than 10%, or that the algorithmic streams are growing by different percentages on different times. And let me explain myself. Let's say that your song was released a week ago and your algorithmic streams are on 10% now. That's a good sign for you. That means that some people love your music and some don't, which is good. But the second question is how many streams you are currently generating. If you're generating something like 100 streams per day, then you need to understand that you don't want to place yourself in a huge playlist that would drive in 2,000 streams per day, for example. You want to keep your growth rate steady and healthy. And when I'm saying healthy, I mean don't impact the algorithm too much. Show it that it can grow with you. If you're taking control too early and you're driving traffic from a playlist that you bought a place in, then most likely that the algorithm would recognize that you bought these streams and it would take down your organic exposure. But from the other hand, if your music have a really high engagement rate and people save your music and add it to their playlist, then you can add yourself into a bigger playlist. It's all about the ratios in here. And no, there isn't any specific formula that would help you to understand when is the right time to put you in a playlist and what's the size of the playlist. But the engagement rate with your music and the streams to listeners ratio are crucial for you to understand better when is the right time to do that. I mean, to put yourself into a playlist. And let me show you an actual example. This song was released on February 11th, and as you can see, the growth in here was kind of slow. We were investing somewhere between $20 to $30 per day. What I love the most about this campaign is that the amount of saves is incredible. Sometimes it drops, which is okay when we optimize the campaign or change the audiences. And the playlist ads are incredibly high as well. From 5,600 listeners, we have almost 2,000 saves in here, which is incredible. And you can see that the algorithm is reacting back to it. Like it's responding right now. So in this case, this is like a classic scenario. I would say to myself, okay, I'm generating somewhere between 1,000 to 400 streams per day in average, okay? It goes up and down. So I wouldn't use a playlist that would drive 5,000 streams per day. I would use something that would add maybe 1,000 per day or maybe 2,000 per day. Because if I still keep this ratio with the saves and playlist ads, then I might be able to see more growth coming in from the algorithmic playlist. And that's what I'm looking for. And let's take a bad example. And this is a classic scenario of an artist that have been using a lot of playlist placements. And as you can see in here, it's been spiking up all the time. And once they stop paying, they're dropping down. So from almost 2,000 streams per day, or 1,100, they dropped around to 100, something like that, maybe less than 100. It goes up and down. And as you can see, it's slowing down nice and easy. And in the end, their organic exposure is going to be like nothing. That's what I'm saying. Like we need to be very smart about the way that we're using these placements. The right time would also be very beneficial. It would allow us to grow and to see more growth in the long run. But that's what most people don't understand, that you need to wait for the results and you don't have to plan that ahead. You need to see the results real time and then to make decisions according to that.